Kamala Harris has received some of the most brutal polling numbers of the campaign so far. President Donald Trump is now being accused of more federal crimes because he simply bought groceries for a mother of three in Pennsylvania, and unrest has spread to Philadelphia, where at least one officer is in the hospital. We'll get to all of those and much more in today's video, but first we turn to Fox News, where a Harris campaign surrogate completely humiliated herself. Here's how it went down.
Harris's plan. We're waiting.
Yeah, okay, there's a lot of aspects to it in regards to looking at it online. So let's talk about lowering the grocery costs, because that's something that's brought up. The viewers can look at this online. She talks about certain things in regards to advancing the first federal ban on price gouging on food and groceries, to set clear rules to the road to make it clear that big corporations can't unfairly exploit consumers as well.
Is that
and
happening?
Secure new
Is that happening?
It's not at this moment. No, this is her plan that's laid out for the first 100 days when she becomes president of the United States of America.
Gouging, is that currently happening?
In regards to I don't know exactly if that's currently happening or not, because I'm not privy to that type of information. Okay. But there are people are costing a lot of money in regards to groceries.
Okay. It seems like you're having a hard time articulating her plan. And
I'm not. Honestly, that's not true. Please, I'm constantly being interrupted by you, which, as a woman, I think is disrespectful. When I'm trying to speak, every time I try and speak, you speak over me.
Okay. Final thought.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. I was giving you time there. All right. Thank you very much.
Really? She's trying to pull the sex card? She's trying to pull the gender card when the person interviewing her is also female? This is just yet another example of how the left always wants to play the victim. You know, if they don't get things their way, I'm the victim. Here's the thing. The press is not your public relations firm. That's what Democrats are used to. You know, the media, CNN, ABC, as we've seen so far this campaign cycle, they've been very friendly to the left. CNN, when they did that super softball interview with Kamala Harris, then obviously the presidential debate on ABC. So it makes sense that, you know, once they actually get some pushback, which the press is supposed to do on Fox News, the left just freaks out. I would also like to say that from my perspective, Fox News has actually gotten a little nicer to the Democrats. I think the reason they've been more softball on Democrats is because, you know, Fox News obviously has a reputation for being more right-leaning, so Democrats don't want to go on Fox News, and I think Fox has gotten softer on them in an attempt to lure them back to the network, to say, hey, we're not going to try to get you with gotcha questions. But even though Fox News, again, just my perspective, even though Fox News has gone lighter on Democrats, it's still a stark contrast to how the left-wing media treats Republicans, to how they treat J.D. Vance whenever they interview him, to how they treat President Trump whenever they interview them. The difference is night and day. In other words, whenever Republicans talk to the press, whenever Republicans talk to media that isn't Fox News, they are going into the lion's den. But whenever Democrats go out, they expect the red carpet wherever they go. They expect the media to be their PR firm. And that's why, you know, this right here is proof. This is evidence of why the Harris campaign won't let Kamala Harris go on Fox News. Because even though Fox News isn't being aggressive, the slightest bit of pushback, just a little tiny poke, and their house of cards comes crumbling down. That right there was just a total train wreck. And then for her to pull the gender card at the end, that's when you know you've lost. So yesterday, there was this new round of polling that came out. It was absolutely brutal for Kamala Harris, and that's why the Harris campaign is sending surrogates out to all these media outlets. Well, there is new polling today from CNN that shows that Trump has increased his already substantial lead on the number one issue, the economy. Here's what they talked about on CNN.
And on issue number one, you mentioned Donald Trump going down to Georgia today. Take a look at Trump's advantage on the economy. 50% of likely voters say they trust him to handle the economy more than Harris. Only 39% of likely voters say so of Harris, again, on issue number one.
I mean, it is really stunning if you think about these numbers. 20% more of voters say that they are worried about the economy, and that's their number one issue more than anybody else. And look at his lead on this.
Across the board, even among Democrats and especially among independents, most people view Trump's first term as better economically for their own pocketbooks than the Biden-Harris administration. But now the Democrats are trying to gaslight all of us. Senator Chris Coons, who is a Harris campaign co-chair, is now saying that we are all misremembering the past. And I wonder, is this something that Senator Coons just said, or is this a new talking point that the Harris campaign is going to try to test the waters with? Let me know what you guys think.
Part of it is that Americans, when you ask the question, are you better off today than you were 4 years ago, many Americans misremember just how bad the economy was 4 years ago and how strong our economic recovery from the pandemic has been.
I have said before, and I know I have a lot of younger viewers, millennials, we talk all the time about psychology and relationships, right? And one of the words we use is gaslighting in personal relationships. And whenever someone gaslights you, that is a red flag and it's a sign to run away from that person, whether it's in your friendships, whether it's in your dating life, whether it is in the workplace. Well, we should do that in politics too. Why is it that one side of the aisle is consistently, and now they're trying to gaslight us on the economy, consistently trying to pull the wool over our eyes? First they said Kamala Harris wasn't the border czar. First they said there wasn't a border crisis. First they said Joe Biden was sharp as a tack. Now they're saying that we're misremembering the past. Why is it that the gaslighting only comes from that one side? To me, that is a red flag. Not only do they not respect our intelligence, our experience, but now they're trying to just totally try to rewrite history. Is that who we want in power? That's not who I want in power. So obviously the economy is bad, or else they wouldn't be trying to gaslight us on that. And Trump knows the economy is bad, and he knows that that's his strength. And that's why his economic policy is one of the top issues, one of the top platforms for his campaign. So yesterday he went to Pennsylvania for a campaign stop, and he, wanted to get a few snacks for the road, and he was caught on camera buying this.
Oh, look, I gotta get some. Look at that stuff. I want. Just have it. We gotta get it.
My mom just got a bag of that, actually.
Good. Is it good stuff? Good?
She says it's the best.
Is that the best?
She says it's the
if
best.
If it is, I'll be in Washington, D.C., hopefully in the Oval Office. I'll send for popcorn, okay?
Appreciate it.
I'm pretty sure that was the first take, and what I mean by that was that wasn't scripted. You can tell that was organic, unlike whenever Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have gone to gas stations and grocery stores and they do multiple takes, of them trying to grab things, or of her husband or Walz, finding things organically. And we all know that that's staged, whereas this obviously is an organic situation. Just from watching it, you can tell it's real. Well, when Trump was checking out, he noticed that there was a mother of three, and he decided to pay for her grocery bills, and that moment was caught on camera.
Take the rest of it. Here, it's going to go down a little bit. It just went down $100.
Thank you so much.
We'll do that for you from the White House, all right?
Thank you.
All right, bye. Nice seeing you, everybody. Beautiful. They're your kids?
Yeah, they are. 3 boys.
Perfecto. Perfecto. 3 for 3. Bye, everybody.
So, as he said, we'll do that for you from the White House. He's obviously talking about lowering the price of living, lowering, eating away from the gains that inflation has put on our prices. Well, the left is upset that Trump paid for her groceries. They are accusing him of a federal crime. Trump just gave a woman $100 in exchange for the White House. Regardless, it's a crime. Not just that person. This is all over social media now. I'm reasonably sure that's a federal crime. Well, I actually pulled up the text, the statute itself. Here's what it says. Whoever makes or offers to make an expenditure to any person, either to vote or withhold his vote, or to vote for or against any candidate, Trump did not do that. He did not ask for her vote. He just simply paid for her groceries, so that didn't happen. Whoever solicits, accepts, or receives any such expenditure in consideration of his vote, or the withholding of his vote, the woman did not say that, shall be fined under this title, blah, 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 blah. So Trump didn't do anything wrong according to that, and neither did the woman. But according to these leftists, both of them, they want both of them arrested, because they have these glasses on, they have these lenses on, and anything Trump does, because Orange Man is bad, anything Orange Man does must also be bad. It just doesn't make any sense. For those of you who have been watching my channel for a while, you know that the Trumps have always done nice things, and oftentimes behind the scenes, not in front of the cameras. Just a few days ago, I made a video about a man talking about Fred Trump, Trump's father, and how he paid for the college tuition for not only him, but his siblings. So I think it was like 3 kids in that family all got to go to college because Fred Trump paid for it. And that didn't make the press. That, you know, that story didn't come out until decades later, just a few days ago. And then Donald Trump, you know, he did the kind things, for example, recently for Liam, the young boy with the neurological disorder, right? And that video went viral because Liam's mom, not the Trump team, Liam's mom shared it, and that video went viral. So the Trumps have historically always done very nice things for people off camera, and I believe that Trump paying for that woman's groceries was just yet another example of him trying to give back. So, you know, for them trying to claim that this is a federal crime, he's trying to buy votes. No. It's funny that the left always tries to look for crimes where there are none, and then they ignore the obvious crimes before our eyes. Take a look at what happened in Philadelphia just 2 nights ago. Absolute mayhem in the streets, and that is just, you know, a few days after what happened in the New York City subways. So according to the local news there, this is NBC Philadelphia 10 affiliate, police vehicles, plural, damaged as officers respond to car meetups at City Hall. There were 11 meetups apparently in the city of Philadelphia. This is also confirmed by ABC6 local affiliate news. 11 meetups, at least 1 officer injured in a crash, and he is in the hospital currently, and then many others injured. Apparently what's happening is they're coming down for, you know, street racing, drag racing, and they're having all these car meetups. Then the cops come to try to break them all up, and the cop cars have been getting swarmed by all these people. And this is, like I said, it happened in 11 different locations in Philadelphia. Just stunning footage here. And like I said, you know, it's funny that the left is always looking for crimes that they accuse President Trump of doing, whereas clearly, there is unrest spreading across our major cities right before our eyes. I'm pretty sure some crimes were committed in that video, and yet the left doesn't want to talk about that. Neither does Alan Lichtman, because social unrest is one of his keys to the White House. As always, this is just my analysis and my commentary, and I would love to know yours in the comments below. What do you think about that Fox News segment earlier? I'm really almost at a loss for words, because talk about a temper tantrum. Oh man, you gave me some pushback. Therefore you are sexist because you questioned me, which is your job. I mean, that is totally embarrassing for the Harris campaign. And to me, it just proves why they won't let Harris herself, you know, face any tough questions, because her surrogates, if they can't handle it, there's no way Kamala can. What do you think about that? What do you think about any of the other stories? If you haven't already, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask, but it really does help me in the algorithm to reach more viewers like you. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.